This is a JRI kit from 529 Innovations. Here is the rear setup is these two springs and the helper springs for the back. The front is these struts right here with the helper springs and the regular coil right there. This is their 450 pound is my setup that I got. You can also get different spring rates also. And then this is ground control top plates to allow you up to -3 degrees camber. On the rear, you're going to jack the car up. You're going to take the rear wheel off. You're going to take that one bolt out there and that bolt right there. That way you can pull these back. And you're going to take that bolt out there and that one there. That's for the top of the strut. You're going to unbolt this one, make sure that this is supported underneath. You're going to unbolt the one for the sway bar right here. And also in the back here, there's a level height sensor. You're gonna make sure you're gonna take that off. That'd probably be one of the first things you take off there. Once you have all those bolts out, then you're going to take this bolt right here out. Make sure that this right here is supported. That way this right here doesn't fall down. With everything loose, you can pull your spring assembly out. If you have no plans of reusing the old struts or selling them or something like that, you're going to want to cut the harness here. Otherwise, you would have to depin this in order to put a socket on there. And then once you get the nut out, then you can remove the top hat from this one, and you can move it over to the new JRI setup. All right, once you tighten up all your bolts, then you're going to want to adjust the adjuster to get some of the slack out and to start putting pressure on the helper spring. And everything is there. And then if you have mag ride like I do, you have to hook it up and tie this up. All right, this was the eye sweeps that I ended up getting for the mag ride delete. So got a bracket and it's zip tied, and then I ended up putting it behind this shield. That way there's more tire clearance. All right, and this is the passenger side of the vehicle. As you can see, I got the eye sweep up here, and obviously you had to remove this piece right here, move it out of the way so you can get to that top bolt right there. But down here, this is the adjuster for the coilovers, and basically you can start where you want to. I started with 8 turns down. All right, now for the front, you're going to remove the sway bar end link. That's right here. Goes into that hole right there. You're going to remove that bolt right there. And you're going to remove the one on the back side of the strut. You're going to remove the axle nut that goes right here. And then you're going to remove the 3 bolts that are under here on the lower control arm, right around here, right here on the back side. There's 3 of them there. And then once you have those removed, then you're going to come up here and you're going to remove the bolt that holds this in. It goes right there. And 1, 2, and 3. Also going to remove the height sensor that attaches to the lower control arm. It will go into that hole right there. And then you're going to push the control arm down and remove it from these 3 parts of the ball joint. Then you're going to pull the axle out, remove the sway bar end link, and then the strut should be free to move. We have this cutting tool right here, and this is the cutting bit itself. So you will take the tool itself, stick it in the hole, and the cutting bit goes on the underside. You're going to use the cutting bit and you're going to push it as far to the inside as you can, and then you're going to tighten it up until it cuts out this space right here. And that's what it leaves you with, and that's so that way you can go -3 degrees camber. Cut that plate out, then you're going to bolt your suspension in. So that's the suspension right now. It's set probably about -0.7 is probably where it's at right now, but I'll find out more when it's at the alignment shop. And spun the purchase up about 18 turns up to get it to where it's at right now. Then there is my ice sweep set up, and I have it run around and zip tied up. And then these come with the JRI suspension because they're shorter than the factory ones, because the JRI suspension doesn't droop as much as the factory's does. And then you want to put all your other bolts back in, you know, the suspension bolts and the arm bolt for the leveling sensor, and tighten your axle nut, and that's the front end. Done with the driver's side, then you go to the passenger side and you do the same thing over there, and then put your tires. Here's the adjuster for the front suspension for dampening, and on this, the more you turn it in, the stiffer the suspension gets, and it has a little click that you can feel to feel where the suspension is set to. So if you want to soften it up for the highway for regular road use instead of a track, recommended settings probably around 21 to 24 negative. So it'll be turning it back this way to set it for street use. This is where the rear is set up for the same thing. So you spin this like this, and those are your adjusters there, just like the front right there. So you're gonna get this pin tool with the setup, and the bottom one right here will also be like the knob that was on the front suspension. And if you turn it to the right, so this way, it will make the suspension harder. And if you turn it that way, so like this, when you turn it like this, it will make the suspension softer. And the top one is for smaller adjustments.